hold up, I am on my way, I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
Hey guys, this is Julie from Crafty Beach, and today I have 14 Christmas DIYs for you with a tropical and fun nautical theme, and I really hope you enjoy these. A lot of blues and reds, and I think these are really fun for Christmas, so let's get started. The first DIY is going to be pretty easy. It's one of these little wood believe signs from the Dollar Tree. And all we're going to do is dress it up a little bit, give it a new background. But first, I got to find a way to pop this back off of it. Usually there's like a weak point in there. That's what I'm trying to find, trying to get in there to pry that off. But if that doesn't work, you can always use a little bit of heat. This one is not put together like where it all falls apart, so that's good. And it has this Christmas background on there, but I wanted to give it a tropical background to go with my coastal and tropical Christmas vibe. You can use kind of whatever you want on the back of these, which is great. I'm going to use some of my favorite tropical wallpaper. This is the removable wallpaper from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut a piece of that to size. Could not be any easier. Just peel and stick. And we're going to have like a new background on this. If I can find the corner. There we go. So all I got to do is lay that back down on there. And then I thought that'd be really pretty with the red believe like in front of it. Now I'm just going to glue it back on with just a little bit of hot glue. And I like it like that, but I really wanted my reds to like pop and be like really bright red. So I am going to touch that up a little bit once I get it all on here, just to make it pop a little bit with just a brighter red. This is like a candy apple red, and I'm just going to go over that real quick. I did tape it off to make sure I didn't get like paint on the wood part of the sign. This is just me being extra. It probably would have been pretty at the existing red. But I really love the combination of the tropical leaves, but the pop of red for Christmas. Super fun. And I always like this like kind of raw wood color for most of my coastal DIYs, like the frame is. Now for one more little beachy touch, I'm just going to take a seashell from the Dollar Tree and just glue it to the corner just to give it a little extra something. And this is how it turned out. I would love it if you would vote for your favorite DIYs today. This one is going to be DIY number 1. I always love to see what you guys are enjoying. Okay, you ready for another Christmas DIY? These are the little monkey fist balls. This is a vase filler ones that I got from Target, but you can totally use the ones from the Shore Living line at Dollar Tree and just cut the handle off, would totally work the same. I'm going to make a little coastal snowman out of these. So all I'm doing is gluing 3 of them together. This vase filler size is a tiny bit smaller than the ones at the Dollar Tree, but again, that one would totally work. Now, I just need to make a base for my snowman because there's no way that's going to stand up. I'm going to use one of these wood round, chunky wood rounds from the Dollar Tree and some more of that tropical removable wallpaper from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to cut the size of the top and peel and stick that on there. And I'm going to use this wallpaper a lot. I love it. It's one of my favorites. I'm really glad that all of my Dollar Trees, even my little tiny Dollar Trees, are carrying this now. It's so good. Now, I also want it to look finished on the sides. So how I'm going to do that is I'm just going to cut a strip of that same wallpaper so that we can go around the sides and have like a finished edge and no painting on this part of the project. And so I'm just going to string that around. It was not quite long enough, so I do have to do a second piece, but that's okay. You can always just piece it together. You could always paint it as well, but I like how this kind of coordinates with some of the other tropical things that we're doing today. And then we're just going to glue the little monkey fist balls on there. And once I have a base, I can have it stand up. We can start decorating our little beachy snowman. I love snowmen, and just because I live at the beach doesn't mean that we can't have snowmen. So I'm going to make a hat and a scarf out of some aqua felt. I just bought this sheet, I think at Walmart, and I just cut a circle for the top of the hat, and then I cut a strip, and then just using hot glue, we're gonna glue that circle to the strip, working it around. What I want it to look like is that he has like a fishing hat on. So that's the shape I'm trying to go for my little snowman hat. Now my strip wasn't quite long enough, so I'm gonna cut another one. We're going to piece this together a little bit, and then I'm just going to continue gluing that around. I've never made a hat like this, but it turned out really cute. Now, if you don't have any felt, you could always use that light blue baby blankets from the Dollar Tree. It's going to give you a very similar color and feel, and that's really easy to work with. So once I have like the bucket part of the hat, now I just have to make a brim. So what I'm going to do is just cut out a piece of that felt a little bit bigger for the brim of the hat and just cut that out. I love working with felt because you don't have to sew anything, but you have nice even seams. And then I just glue that on. I'm not actually going to attach that. We're just going to kind of piece the hat together like this. Gonna glue the bucket part to that top part, and we have a little fishing like bucket hat for our snowman. Super cute. That's what he looks like so far. Now I want to do some eyes and decorations for it, so I'm going to use some of these little flat circular stickers from the Dollar Tree. I was going to give him like blue eyes, but I decided he would look better with like black, you know, like the snowman black button or coal eyes and stuff like that. So I just went and painted some of those stickers black. Easy fix. You can make them whatever color you want. And I'm also going to use a little hot glue when I put these on. I don't want to just completely rely on the sticker. I want this to stay put. And we're going to glue our little snowman eyes to the top monkey fist ball. And then I want him to have a cute little face too. Those stickers were too big to do like a little dotted mouth. So I'm just using some black felt and just cutting out a super easy little smile for our little snowman. You could probably paint that on as well if you needed to. A little grin for our little guy. And we can keep on decorating this little Beachy snowman. So here is a couple buttons for his front of him, but I actually wanted a little bit more color. So I decided against the black on these, and I just went ahead and used the light blue just to make them a little bit more colorful. But I do like the black for the eyes and the mouth. Now we need to make, give our little snowman arms. And I thought this wired jute from the Dollar Tree would make great snowman arms. It's flexible. It's going to kind of stick out like a stick. So I just kind of stab that into the side and have the little arms sticking out. And I'm also using a little hot glue to make sure they don't fall off. and just trimming that down. And then I'm just going to cut like some extra pieces to wrap around there, and it's going to give him like a little bit of a branch hand, if you will. But you got to be really careful when you cut those little pieces of that wire jute. It likes to do some crazy things. It likes to all come apart. Maybe if you hot glue it together first, that might help this step. But it's okay that it looks a little bit frayed because I want it to kind of look like twigs, right? For the little snowman hands. Now to decorate his little bucket hat, I'm going to use one of those little tiny starfish I get on Amazon. They'll be linked in my Amazon shop below. And then I wanted to decorate the base with some of those little tiny seashells from the Dollar Tree. He's looking super cute. I do want him to have a nose though. I thought instead of a carrot, we could do one of those like little spiral seashells. And this is from those little tiny shells at the Dollar Tree as well, and give him a little shell carrot nose. It's almost the same exact shape as a carrot, so super cute. Now to decorate him a little more, I'm going to use some of this red pom-pom. I wanted some little tiny red scarf, and this was pretty much all I had. So I just trimmed the pom-poms off of it, also trimming the little strands of thread that were connecting the pom-poms. And don't worry, we'll use those pom-poms for a later DIY today. And it's just a very cute little scarf to go around the neck of our snowman because he needs a scarf, but I wanted it to be kind of lightweight. You could probably use ribbon for that too if you had some. That is about the same size, but here he is. If you want to vote for this DIY, he is DIY number 2. Hey guys, have you subscribed to my second channel? I have a second channel called Crafty Little Beach. I'll post a link below. It's all my DIYs in 1 minute or less in case you're short on time, but you want to get some inspiration. Love to have you over there. Okay, our next DIY is a Santa gnome. This was so easy. I took one of these little red and white gnomes from the Dollar Tree. The only thing I didn't like him is he was a little shiny, so I'm just gonna tamp that down a little bit with some matte Mod Podge. This was so cute. This was one of their little Christmas gnomes. If you didn't have one of the Christmas gnomes, you could use any of these and just paint the gnome hat red, and it's going to make him look like Santa because he has a little white beard. I had touched up his beard a little bit with a white paint pen to give a little bit of depth to his little Santa beard, but I just didn't want him to be too shiny. I didn't think it really went with my coastal vibe, so that's why I'm going over it with matte Mod Podge, but you know, you could totally leave it as is. So that's what he looks like now. He's got little Christmas trees all over his hat. Now, I wanted to make like a little furry brim for his hat, but I didn't really have any white fur. So again, I'm using some of that pom-pom trim from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just cutting the pom-poms off and making a little trim to go around the top of his, or the bottom of his hat to kind of make it look like a Santa Claus hat. And again, you could use like fabric, you could use felt, just kind of, you know, use whatever you've got in your stash. And I am just gluing that all around. This was such an easy DIY, and it's just such a cute little piece. You could use this on a tier tray. You could use this with your decor, pretty much anywhere. And then I'm going to use one of those little pom-poms for a little pom-pom on top of our little Santa hat. And it's really that easy. So if you want to vote for this DIY, this sweet little Santa gnome is a DIY number 3. Okay, do you recognize this? This is the witch hat reform, if you still have one from Halloween or if your store still has one. It's going to make a great Christmas tree. I just got to find a way to get the brim of the hat off, and it's going to give me a perfect Christmas tree shape. I want to make a fun little driftwood Christmas tree that you can hang on the wall. Now, for the wood parts of the tree, I'm going to start with just I need some wood. So I'm using some of those little Dollar Tree rulers that come in a 2-pack. and we are gonna use those on the metal rungs. Now, at first, I was gonna make this look like a floating driftwood tree, and that is why I'm painting the reform white at this step, but I ended up changing it a little bit. I also cut off the end, so I have a perfect triangular shape now. With the rustiest wire cutters I think I could find. Those belong to my husband. And I'm just going to go ahead and use those rulers, kind of measuring how long I need to cut these. And you could use craft wood, you could use whatever you've got for this step. Even popsicle sticks would probably work. And I just cut those rulers down to size. And now we can just start attaching those to the like cross wires here of this reform. Just with some hot glue. If you are using the rulers, they have like a little ridge on the one side that had the stickers on it. And that is what I'm gluing to it. So I have like a flat edge on top that I can then cover with driftwood. At the time, I didn't have any real big pieces of driftwood. I do now. But you could always do that as well with real driftwood. I'm going to use the driftwood filler. You guys have seen me use this a million times. I get this driftwood filler at Target. I love it. You can get it on sale. I always watch for the sales and stock up. It's really good to craft with. You can also get driftwood on Amazon. I think I do have some linked in my Amazon shop below. Basically, just like putting together a puzzle, I'm just going to try to find some pieces that will pretty much fill up our ruler and cover that up with driftwood. As you can see, these pieces are fairly flat, so it's good for something like this when you need to glue it together. And it's okay to overlap, just kind of piece them together however they're going to fit. If you have to use little pieces like that, go for it. I'm just trying to cover up all of the ruler and have like a driftwood Christmas tree. Again, originally I was just going to have it like this and have it like a floating driftwood tree. That's why I painted that white so it would blend in with my white cabinets, because that's where I'm hanging this, on the side of my kitchen cabinets. I ended up not liking it as a floating driftwood, and so I do end up adding more driftwood, and you'll see that here in just a minute. So we got that all filled, and we're going to decorate it. I got some of this teal paracord from the hardware section at the Dollar Tree. I thought it would make some fun, colorful garland for a little coastal tree, but it's that rope feel, so it's going to give me like a nautical feel as well. So I'm just going to cut some pieces off. It has like the white rope inside of it, which kind of makes it look even a little bit more rustic, so that's okay. And I'm just kind of diagonally kind of working that across my driftwood like garland and just attaching with a little bit of hot glue. Just attaching it to my existing driftwood there. And I really want this to be like teal, like turquoisey and like red decor on our little Christmas tree here. And this really turned out so fun. Now, I thought it needed a little bit more garland, so I'm also going to use some of that brown rope from the Dollar Tree and kind of alternate how I wind that around and kind of just place it next to the paracord. This is the thinner brown rope from the Dollar Tree, just to give it a more coastal vibe. You know, I love working with all of the ropes from the Dollar Tree. They are so great for coastal or nautical projects. So I kind of alternated top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. And then I get it on there. And this was one of those projects where I kept changing my mind. And I'm like, you know, I think I want the white nautical rope after I got it all on there. So what I did was unwinded a white rope into the third, and I'm cutting out pieces to put on there. I struggled with this piece, but I love the final product, so I still wanted to show it to you. And just like before, I'm gluing it on just like I did, but this time I'm using white. Do you ever have a project where you're like, oh, this sounds good, and then you do it and you're like, oh, that's not what it looked like in my head. That was one of these projects. But I do love the final results. So I got those all glued on there. I kind of alternated top, bottom like I did with the brown. And then I decided to still use that rope. I had it and kind of connect like top to bottom like that. So it's going to be a garland too, but it's going to be kind of in that floating space that we have there. So I did end up using it just somewhere else. And just gluing that to the sides of our reform. I'm trying to think what other reform that you could use for this. I don't know if is there any more triangular shaped reforms like this? I'm not sure. And then that's when I decided I didn't like the floating effect. And so I said, what if I put driftwood along the sides and finish out that tree shape? And I'm glad I did. I like it better like this. So I just picked out some more of those driftwood pieces from the Target. And I'm just going to glue those onto the sides. And I liked that better. I just didn't really like the wire look there on the sides. Even though I was trying to go for a floating driftwood look at first, I just didn't think it worked. So I'm just gluing those to the sides. And now all the wire reform is covered up, and I like it better like that. Just trimming up the rope a little bit. It was a little crazy on the sides. And then I thought we would decorate it with little sea creatures for ornaments, right? Some of these I got the sea turtle and the seahorse at the Dollar Tree, and the dolphin and the octopus I got on Amazon. That will be in my Amazon shop below, and I'm just going to paint them all turquoise, this bright turquoise color. The ones at the Dollar Tree do have holes in them, so the advantage of the ones from Amazon is that you don't have to fill that, but super cute. Whatever you've got, some little wood creatures. The little tiny ones from the Shore Living line would be great too, like the sea turtles and stuff like that. These were a little bit larger. And I'm just going to glue these on as like kind of giant coastal ornaments, alternating the dolphin, the octopus, the sea turtle, and the seahorse. And just gluing those onto the driftwood. It definitely gives it a coastal beachy touch. And the rope looks extremely nautical on there. I'm going to take some twine and just make a simple hanger for it. Then I wanted some pops of red. So I'm using some of these little red foam crabs from the Dollar Tree. This is like a kid's craft supply or whatever. They're like little foam shapes, and they had little red crabs in there. And I thought that would be a perfect little pop of red. Now, if you had those little wood sea creatures from the Dollar Tree, you could paint those red as well and get the same kind of look. And then I'm going to use a starfish. This is a real one from Amazon, but you could use the Shore Living one as well for the tree topper. And then I just picked out one large piece of that driftwood filler to give us kind of a base for the Christmas tree, and just attaching that to the bottom of it. With some hot glue, and then we can put the star on the top of our tree. It has to be a starfish, of course, and glue that on. And even though this project, I changed my mind a lot, I really love how it turned out and the final product. Isn't it cute? And this is how it looked hanging in my kitchen on the side of my cabinet. If you want to vote for this as your favorite DIY today, this is DIY number 4. I love it. It's so fun and so unique. This is like the side of like a giant cabinet in my kitchen. I always like to decorate it. Okay, moving on, we're going to do a tropical Christmas sign. So I'm just using a plain wood sign. This is from the Target Dollar Spot, something I got on clearance from fall. It can be anything. They actually have like some squarer ones like this at Dollar Tree now. Just whatever you've got. I wanted that wood border, that's why I'm using this one. But I'm going to cover the back with that same light blue tropical removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. And I just kind of creased it down in there to see how big of a piece I would need to fill the back of this. And so easy, peel and stick. This is going to kind of coordinate with some of the other DIYs we've done today. And I want to do like that blue tropical with red. Now, I want to Mod Podge down a window decal. So this is the Santa decal from the Dollar Tree. He's a little too big for my sign. So I thought he's close, right? So if I just cut his legs off, I can kind of overlap the top of him on top of the legs, and maybe he will fit. So that's why I cut him into 2 pieces. Now I'm Mod Podging this on there, and the Santa looks nice and bright because it's on that like white background. But when I put it on the wallpaper, as you can see, you could see right through him. So you could see the palm leaves through his beard, which I totally didn't like. So I decided to put that back on the white background, and I'm going to do the same thing with the legs. And I'm just going to take advantage of the way he looks like that, because he looks better. That glued that down to the white back of the window cling as well. And I'm looking at the price tag. I thought I got this Santa at the Dollar Tree, but it looks like it's $1. It may have came from Dollar General. Whatever kind of Santa you have. I liked this one because he had his hands up in the air. Oh, maybe this was when Dollar Tree was $1. It's a mystery. Okay, and so what I did was cut out the Santa, left the background on there so he's nice and bright now, overlapped him a little bit so he would fit on the sign, and then going all over him with more Mod Podge to seal him on there and make sure that he stays put. And I like it because he has his hands up in the air like, what am I doing in tropical Florida? I live at the North Pole, kind of a expression. Now I want this to be a standing sign, and it was a hanging sign. So to make that happen, I'm just going to glue one of those giant Jenga blocks on from Five Below. Love those things. I stock up on those every spring at Five Below. Glue that to the back, and now we have a standing sign. And this is our little, what am I doing in Florida, Santa side. If you'd like to vote for this DIY, this is DIY number 5. Okay, this is galvanized metal Christmas ornament from the Dollar Tree, and I want to make it look like a fishing bobber. I thought that'd be fun for like a nautical feel. So I'm just going over with ivory acrylic. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have Mod Podged first. It makes the paint stick a little bit better, but this actually held up really well. Then I just kind of used a red marker to kind of sketch like a little bit of a curved line so we'd know where to paint red. So this is going to be the red bottom of my bobber, and then the top of the ornament's going to be the red top of the bobber, because an ornament and a bobber are kind of like shaped exactly the same. So easy. Now I wanted to decorate it a little bit, and I thought a galvanized metal piece would be pretty. The only one that fit was Joy, but I love that. So I thought that'd be the perfect decoration for the front of our bobber. I was worried about hot gluing it on metal to metal. I wasn't sure if it was going to stick. So I'm just using a little bit of super glue and gluing that onto the front and just leaving that, the galvanized metal. That definitely goes with like the nautical feel as well. This DIY was so easy and it's so cute. So I just tie off a piece of twine to make a new little hanger for the top. Then I thought a few jingle bells would be fun, a little Christmas touch. So I'm just going to string some on some twine and tie that on the top of our little fishing bobber. And these are the silver color ones, so they're going to match like the little silver galvanized metal Joy sign that we put on there. I just did some twine and tied a jingle bell to each one, and then I'm just tying that around the top with another piece of twine so they'll kind of like dangle down. And then I'm going to tie another one on here just for fun. I love decorating with these jingle bells from the Dollar Tree. It's such a fun little Christmas touch. I thought 3 was the magic number on this, and just kind of have those dangle down on the top of our little fishing bobber. And this is how it turned out. It was so easy. If you'd like to vote for this as your favorite DIY today, this is going to be DIY number 6. It's so cute. And you could do that with the larger wood Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree as well. Okay, y'all, I want to make a Christmas tree. So I'm going to use one of these little triangle shadow box frames, maybe. I'm not sure what to call it. From the Dollar Tree. And we're going to pop the back off. It was kind of a pretty tropical color anyway, but it wasn't glued down all the way. So I couldn't get all the paper off, so I'm going to make that the back of my Christmas tree. And I love to have a finished back. So I'm just using some cheap Dollar Tree wood contact paper on the back and some sanding block to give me a perfect cutter on the back. And now we have a nice finished back for our Christmas tree. Now, I bet you can't guess what I'm going to use. I'm going to use that same, my favorite, tropical wallpaper from Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to use a marker to know how big of a piece to cut to cover the back of our Christmas tree. I love taking these items from the Dollar Tree and replacing the backs and making them extra special. You can personalize it any way you want. So just peel and stick that wallpaper on there. It's going to give me a fun little Christmas tree. I was thinking about using this wallpaper to make like a cone-shaped tree this year too. Maybe, we'll see. And then I'm just going to glue the back back on our triangle with just some hot glue. And then we just need to decorate our little Christmas tree some. This is kind of the perfect shape for a Christmas tree. And for a tree trunk, I thought some of these wood stems from the Dollar Tree. I know they say Goodwill, but I did get them at Goodwill, but they were from the Dollar Tree. And I have been able to stock up a lot of these this fall, in case I can't find them again. I have quite a stash of these little wood sticks, and then a little starfish for the top. I'm using a real one from Amazon, but you could totally use the one from Shore Living. They're about the same size. Just leaving that like natural ivory color. I think that looks really pretty. And that's a perfect little tree trunk. Now for garland, I thought some of that red pom-pom trim would be really cute. Maybe kind of zigzag that back and forth. And I'm just going to attach that to the front here. Going to cut a piece to size and kind of like put that at an angle. And do like a fun little design here with garland. I thought zigzag would be like a fun effect with a little pom-pom. And I love the pom-pom because it kind of looks like a Christmas ornament dangling down from the garland as well. And so I'm just cutting the pieces to size and hot gluing those to the edges. Again, in a little bit of a zigzag pattern just for fun. And this is how it turned out. So easy, our little coastal Christmas trees. I put some shells in the bottom for presents, of course. If you want to vote for this as your favorite DIY today, it's DIY number 7. Okay, our next DIY, this is a Christmas sled from the Target dollar spot. And I thought we could make this a really cute sign. It's nice and flat, and so I thought it would work well. I used my Cricut to cut out some vinyl here. And this was a design that I found on the Cricut Design Space. It was already made, and you're going to love what it says. So this is like the white, like snowflakes and like little dots. Those little tiny dots were kind of hard to weed, but I'm just using white vinyl. I think this was just the white vinyl, maybe even from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use some of my favorite vinyl transfer paper, that paper kind that I get on Amazon. It's in my shop below. And then this is what happened when I used the red Dollar Tree vinyl for the rest of the pattern. I have problems with it. It sticks to my mat. Sometimes it cuts all the way through. So you'll see here. I had some issues here. So what it says is let it snow somewhere else. I cut that part out in that bright red. And I'm going to go ahead and leave the sled, that wood color that goes with a lot of my coastal DIYs. But I wanted that the pop of red with a little bit of white on the front of the sled to make it into a sign. You could totally do this on a sign as well if you couldn't find a sled. But I thought the sled and the snow part made it go together well. So as you can tell, I'm missing letters. Had to go in and recut it. Thank you, cheap Dollar Tree vinyl. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. And just replace those. And now I can go in and place this down. I'm going to trim that down so I know I'm getting it on there very centered, and just peel that off. This transfer paper, it's kind of hard to see through, but it's so easy to use. And then just put my second layer on there, the little white snowflakes. Not going to paint it, just going to use the vinyl, but it turned out so cute and it looks really professional. Now I want to make this a standing sign because it's going on my shelves. And so I'm just putting a wood block on the back. This is one of those giant Jenga blocks from Five Below and gluing that on the back so it will stand up. Now, I thought it needed a few more coastal DIYs, so I'm just going to glue on some of the Dollar Tree seashells to the front. This one's like one of the blue ones, so it's going to add a little touch of blue to our sign, because I don't really have any on there. And just kind of picking out some different ones that I like, and just kind of gluing those along the top just to give it a fun coastal beach touch. And this is how our little Let It Snow Somewhere Else sled, love it, turned out. And if you want to vote for this as your favorite DIY, it's DIY number 8. I love how those all look together. Okay, our next DIY is going to be a candy cane. I'm going to use one of these little tinsely monstrosities from the Dollar Tree. I don't like the tinsel, but I really like the shape of the little candy cane cage. And so I am going to rip all that tinsel, messy stuff off, cutting it if I need to, and it's going to give me that great shape to make my own little coastal, nautical, beachy candy cane. So about got it all off. It does kind of make a little bit of a mess. Now I was worried that these little tabs were going to get in the way, so I'm just using some strong scissors and trimming those all off. Not sure if they totally would have gotten in the way, but I didn't really want to mess with them. What I want to do is just like wrap the candy cane with some of this 11-foot white nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and then we can make it look like a candy cane. Now, I thought this was going to be a little bit easier than it was. Like that little hook bend for the candy cane did make it a little bit challenging, but you will see how I was able to do it. So I'm going to start on the back. And I'm going to glue down our first piece of rope, maybe, to the back. Make sure it dries. And kind of glue that to the bottom, using lots of glue here at the beginning to try to make that stand or stay. And I'm kind of doing it, as you can see, like in a diagonal pattern. And I'm just going to wrap that all the way around. This is that 11-foot white rope. It's not too thick. It's kind of a really nice size to craft with. When I get to the end, I'm just going to cut it and glue that to make sure that I start and stop on the back where you can't see, and we're going to start a second rope. These things always take way more than you think they're going to need when you wrap all the way around because you're covering the back as well. Now, this part was really easy until I get to here, and then I have to kind of try to figure out how am I going to continue this all the way around. Now, naturally, to get it to go, you're gonna have to leave some spaces, as you can see. I'm having to use leave triangular places open, but I'm also at the end of my rope. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that to the back again. And then we can start a third package of that white nautical rope and fill in the rest. So I'm gonna start here on the other tip of the candy cane and glue that to the cage. And kind of try to start here, covering up all of that cage here at the end. And really that's the only place you have to use hot glue is when you start and stop. Otherwise just wrapping keeps it nice and tight. And so I get to this point and I'm trying to fill this area up the best that I can. As you can see my dilemma at this point. So I'm just going to glue that to the back and then bring it back the other direction and cut it. And we're just going to glue that down into that little void. And then I'm going to start a new piece right here, about halfway up, and pull that around to the back and glue that to the back. Bring that same piece back to the front. As you can see, gluing that down. That way I don't have to cut it. And then I can bring that back around to the back. Glue that down. It's kind of a triangular section. Bring it back this was how I solved my problem, and it actually worked really well. And I'm glad I figured out I could kind of bend it and start again. That way I didn't have to cut every single time that I started and stopped there. And it all blended in really well. You can't really tell exactly what I had to do there. And then for this section, I just need to fill that in as well. So I'm just going to glue a piece down in there, bring it around to the back, kind of make a triangle, pull that down as tight as I can, and just fill that in with little triangles as well of the rope. And problem solved. Now I want it to look like a candy cane, so I want to actually paint the rope. Chalk paint works really well to paint rope or fabric, and so that's what I'm going to use. So I'm just going to take some Dollar Tree painter's tape, and we're going to start just doing a kind of the opposite of the diagonal pattern that I had going on there in a candy cane stripe fashion. I was trying to figure out what to do at this point. I kind of wanted it to kind of continue that line, and that's what I did. And stripe it all up. And then I thought that way might look a little bit better. So I've got that all painted, and now we can paint it. I'm just using a brush and some chalk paint from Walmart. This is the Agave chalk paint by Waverly. It looks light beachy blue, but it actually dries like a little bit darker blue, so be prepared for that. If you want it to be a beachy blue, you might have to add a little white or ivory to it first. And we're just going to paint that. This rope paints really well, and it's going to give me kind of a look like you use like two different ropes, like ivory and blue rope, and but I didn't have to do that. The paint totally gives it that vibe, especially if you use a brush, because you can get down in between all the individual fibers and get a really good paint job. Got that all painted and dried, and now all we have to do is remove the painter's tape. And look at that great candy cane pattern. And I love the fact that I did a turquoise and white candy cane instead of a red and white. It gives me another coastal beachy vibe for my house. And I think this also looks kind of nautical with all that rope going on. Now, all I have to do is make a hanger. And so I'm just using some of this red ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and we're just going to make a simple, like, little loopy hanger just by gluing that onto the back of our rope candy cane. And that's going to give us a pop of red since we did do the blue and white for the candy cane. Then I thought it needed a little bit more red, so I decided to take some more of that red ribbon and just tie off a simple little bow to decorate the top. And this would be great for a wall hanging. It would also be great for a door wreath, indoor or outdoor, really. And super cute, little fun, whimsical candy cane. And if you did it with like a lighter beachy blue, or even more, you could even decorate it with some seashells if you wanted yours to have a little bit more pizzazz. But I'm going to leave it like this. I really like the blue, white, and red. This is how it looks hanging on my door to my garage. I love this little take on a candy cane. If you want to vote for this one, this is DIY number 9. Love it. Hey guys, I wanted to tell you about my private Facebook group. I'll post a link below. You're going to love seeing what all the Crafty Beach Bums are working on. You guys are so creative. I get so many ideas from you guys. And I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest. My handle on all of those is Crafty Beach on YouTube. All one word. I would love to see you over there. Okay, our next DIY. This is a Christmas tree kind of shadow box that I got at the Target dollar spot for $5. I did get this last year. I noticed the one that I saw there this year is shaped like a corner Christmas tree shelf, but it would work totally the same, I think. But I wanted mine to have a sand background just for fun. So I am just using school glue and some of that brown Dollar Tree sand and gluing that down, securing it with some of the spray glue from the Dollar Tree at the end. So first, a thick coat of school glue, then our Dollar Tree sand, and then our spray glue. And I use that technique to glue sand to stuff all the time. It works really well. Now, since I'm using the spray glue and the sand kind of like sprays up a little bit. I do get a little bit on like the insides of the cabinet, but I think it's okay. And I'm just going to do one more coat of that spray glue to make sure that sand isn't going anywhere. Then we're just going to decorate our Christmas tree with sea things. So I thought seashells on the bottom shelf. These are all seashells that I either got at the beach or some of them I got at Dollar Tree. Just kind of like filling that in. Just wanted to do a total beachy vibe on this Christmas tree. Just kind of using different colors, kind of scattering those on. Then for the next shelf, I thought sea glass would be really fun. I got the sea glass at the Dollar Tree, and I don't really like the green. I like the softer colors, and so I'm just using the white and the light blue ones. And then for the top one, I thought maybe a starfish, and I decided I did end up needing a few more. So I did go back and add a little bit of green. I just avoided the royal blue on the sea glass. And this is how it turned out. If you like this DIY, this is DIY number 10. So easy. Just a beachy Christmas tree shadow box. All right, are you ready for the next DIY? This is going to be a Christmas ornament. So I'm taking one of these tinsel Christmas ornaments from the Dollar Tree. Again, we're going to cut off all of that tinsel. And I wanted to try to make this Christmas ornament look like one of those glass fishing floats, if you know what I mean. You'll see here in a minute. So once I got it all on there, I'm just going ahead and trimming off all those little tabs. Those kind of annoy me. And it's going to give me a perfect cage. Now, if you didn't want it to be like 3D looking, you could use the flat wood ornament signs from the Dollar Tree as well. I'm just going to use some of this beautiful like teal fabric from the Dollar Tree. It's one of these little fabric squares, and I'm going to cover this with that fabric because I want it to be this like bright blue color. I thought this would be very pretty. I'm just going to gather all that fabric in the back, and I'm simply just going to zip tie that on. I thought that would be the most secure way to put that on there, and then I don't have to worry about like the hot glue coming through the fabric or anything like that, and it did a pretty good job. So just trimming in the zip tie down. And now to make it look like a fishing float, I'm just going to use some of this thicker twine. And this is that twine from Walmart that comes in the big roll. It's a little bit thicker than the twine you're going to get at Dollar Tree. And I just cut a piece and tied it around. I want to do another piece next to it. As you can see, I'm doing like diagonal patterns with it and tying that one on. Using a dot of hot glue on the back to secure that because it didn't really want to stay in place at that kind of weird angle. Anytime you have knots from tying it off, you can make sure, I like had kind of left mine on the edges so that you could kind of see them because it's going to kind of go with the fishing net feel of that's wrapped around like a fishing float. And this one I'm going to have to, you know, kind of hot glue a little bit on the back too to make sure it stays in place. And just tie that down. So I've got like 3 rows going that way, and now we need to crisscross and start going the other direction with our twine. So I'm going to start that by tying that off here, again where you can kind of see the knot in the beginning, then tie that to the next row, and it's going to give that really cute like fishing and net feel. Tying that one as well. Tying another knot here at the end just so you can have a knot there just for fun. Wrapping it around, and then we can start the next row tying it. Kind of doing about the same spacing as we did before. And tying it to each row. So making your own fishing net like this is definitely not difficult, especially if you're doing like kind of a large ornament like this. Not a whole lot of tying required. And I'm going to go ahead and do a 3rd row on this side like I did before. Knotting each row as I go along. Until I have kind of that fishing float pattern, tying again off on the back. At this point I thought it looked like it needed maybe a few more rows, so I'm just going to add a few more rows here until I think that it looks good and full. I'm also wrapping that one around the top, which helps to gather the fabric there. and start to finish off the top part. Again, just tying it to the back. I don't really care what the back of it looks like, as long as we have like that cool pattern on the front. I decided I had quite a big gap there, so I'm just going to go ahead and make another row. I'm just going to keep kind of adding to it until I'm happy with it. Just simply knotting each row until it's kind of fuller. And you can kind of move them back and forth too if your spacing is a little bit wonky. And tying that to the back. It's looking better, and this is what like a fishing float would look like. Now for the top, I'm going to take some twine and wrap that all the way around the top. It's going to give a nice little coastal vibe to the top of our Christmas ornament. And kind of cover up the fabric up there. I'm going to cut another piece here, tie that onto the back so we'll have a hanger for our ornament. It's looking pretty cute. I thought like it might need a few more beachy touches, so I thought some of these little wooden fish from the Dollar Tree would be really cute on the front. And so I picked 2 of those, and then some of this red Chanel garland from the Dollar Tree. I thought we could use that to make little stringers for our fish. So I'm just going to tie a piece of that around the top of our glass fishing float, leaving 2 strands down that we can make little stringers for a fish. And I'm just going to leave them the natural wood color. I love them like that. And glue the strings onto the back. So it's going to kind of hang down as some little ornaments just on the side of our fishing float. And gluing this one on exactly the same. And I love how it has, it's that bright blue, but it's got a little pop of red. A lot of beachy little touches. Then I took some of that red ribbon that we used before from the Dollar Tree. And just, again, making a very simple little bow. Just to give it a little bit more Christmas decor vibe, and gluing that at the top here where our little fish string down. And this is how it turned out, our little fishing float ornament. If this is your favorite DIY, please vote for number 11 in the comments below. I would love to see what your favorite DIYs were today. And you know what? We're almost to the last DIY. Thank you so much for watching this far. I appreciate you so much. This one's going to be super easy. I got one of these little aqua bottle brush trees from the Target dollar spot. And remember those red pom-poms that we cut off the scarf of our snowman? That's right. We're going to use them for Christmas ornaments. Because you know a crafter doesn't waste anything. They save it, right? And I thought the aqua tree with the little red felt pom-poms would be so perfect for ornaments. So I'm just using a little dot of hot glue on each one and gluing those down into it. Very simple little ornaments. It's going to give me a little bit of a fun texture as well with the felt balls. And kind of using them all until it's kind of full. It's that easy. I'm not going to do a topper or anything. I just kind of went the color, and I displayed this with my little Beachy snowman. If this is your favorite DIY, be sure to vote for number 12. Okay, moving right along. This is a little Christmas sign that I got at the Dollar Tree. I really like the white frame on it, but I want it to be a sideways sign. I wanted to make a fun little beachy Christmas sign. So I just filled in the hangers with some spackle. And then I thought we would just cover the design that's already on there with some more of this removable wallpaper from the Dollar Tree. This time it's like the white slatted board. Kind of coordinates well with that frame. Matches well, looks super coastal with the white wood, and cover up the back. Just making sure that it is square. You know how those Dollar Tree signs like to bow a little bit. Then to kind of just break up some of those lines, I'm just going to distress lightly with a chunky brush and some ivory paint just to give it a little bit more coastal vibe, bring in a little bit more ivory, and definitely soften those lines. Now, this is a wood Santa ornament from the Dollar Tree. I want to make a cute little Santa for our sign, so I don't want it to have a hanger hole, so I just filled that in with spackle as well. And we're going to paint this little guy turquoise. Way too much paint. Makeup sponges from the Dollar Tree work fabulous for painting these little things from the Dollar Tree. Then I thought also a palm tree would be perfect. I had some of these little wood pom-pom or palms tree stickers left over from summer, and I thought that would be really fun on there as well. And I paint them both that turquoise color and then distress lightly with a little bit of ivory to give them a beachy feel. Now, this is just a Christmas ornament from the Dollar Tree that says Merry Christmas. It's that great red and white color. I'm just going to use some heat to go ahead and kind of remove some of the Christmas decor that was on there to make it more my style. I'm going to use some twine to make a new hanger for the back because, again, we're going to make this a sideways sign. Trying to make sure I get it on there even so that it hangs properly. Just attaching that to the back of our sign with a staple gun. I can do that because the frame is actually thick enough there for staples. It's a little hairy, so I just burned off some of the fuzzies with a lighter. And that twine was just the twine from Walmart. And we can start putting this cute little Christmas sign together. So a little palm tree behind Santa. And then our little waving Santa Claus. Super cute. I kind of wanted him to bump out a little bit. So I'm just using one of those wood dominoes from the Dollar Tree just to make him stick out a little bit. I kind of got the effect from the palm tree too because it had that little sticker on the back. And then I thought we could just do a little Merry Christmas ornament over here on the side. It's got a little bit of glitter on there, so I thought I would tone that down a little bit with some matte Mod Podge because I was trying to go for like, a matte coastal vibe. So that's a great way to tone down the glitter a little bit if it's a little too shiny for your project. And I'm just going to glue that onto the side of the frame here. They're like little tag signs, super cute. Just a quick, easy little coastal Christmas sign. Then to cover up the decor that was on there before, I'm just going to use a sand dollar and a seashell from the Dollar Tree. I got those sand dollars on Amazon. They should be listed in my shop below. And then a big seashell here for the bottom. I thought that'd be cute. That's also from the Dollar Tree. And so simple, just a quick little Santa Beachy sign. And then I'm just being extra because I didn't really like how close my Santa was to the seashell. So I'm just going to move him up a little bit. And our little waving Santa. This was so simple, but I think it's really pretty. And it goes with that turquoise, white, and red design that we've got going on today. And this is DIY number 13. If you want to vote in the comments below if this is your favorite DIY. Now, we've come to the end. We have one more DIY. So I'm going to do a very quick little Christmas garland just using starfish. These are real starfish that I got on Amazon, but you could also use the white shore living ones that they had at Dollar Tree. And I thought we would do that same color scheme that we've been doing, leaving 2 ivory, painting 1 red with a candy apple red acrylic, and then painting 2 turquoise. That looks really pretty. And then we can just like string those together with a little bit of twine, and such an easy little garland for Christmas. The stars go with Christmas, of course. Of course, the starfish for coastal, and then it's going to bring in those great colors. So I cut a piece of twine down to the size of the top of the cabinet, and we're just going to start gluing those onto the twine. So simple, just gluing them onto the rope. I do want to kind of make sure they're evenly spaced, so I am measuring, and I'm going to go like blue, ivory, red, ivory, blue. I always do like an odd number on my pennant banners. I think it looks better that way, like either 3 or 5 or 7. And gluing those all on there. Now, I was worried they might fall off with just a little bit of hot glue. So to reinforce that a little bit, I'm just taking some of that Dollar Tree twine and tying them on as well to make sure they're not going to fall off or go anywhere, and they will hold up. from year to year. And this is just going to go on the top of the cabinet where we've made a lot of the Christmas DIYs for today. And I love the colors that I used here, but that blue was a little darker than a lot of the DIYs that I used in the cabinet. So I'm going to mix it with some ivory, just lighten it up a little bit, make it look a little bit beachier. And I love it. And this is how it turned out. I just hung this on the top of my cabinets. I have some little command hooks up there because I like to put garland on the top. If you want to vote for that DIY as your favorite, that is DIY number 14. Okay, guys, it's almost time for the final reveal, but I wanted to give a huge thank you to the following Crafty Beach Bums for sending me super thanks and super chats on my videos. I appreciate you so much. You really helped keep this channel afloat. And also for these Crafty Beach Bums for buying me a coffee. I always have a link posted in my video description. I appreciate you so much. Okay, here we are. Final reveal. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment your favorite DIY below, and don't forget to subscribe.
Hold up, I am on my way. I'm in motion. Let's go to the ocean. Yeah, let's go outside. We can hang out on the beach without freezing. Yeah, isn't that amazing? In Christmas times, we'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. And I can promise Santa's coming to visit. No, he wouldn't miss this in Christmas times. Oh, and the sunset, it is just getting better on a blanket with the skyline painted in blue. Ooh, yeah, that's what we do. We'll be chilling and having a good time. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart. Here we go. All right. Dance, dance, now this Christmas, we're gonna dance. We're gonna dance, 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 come on. Dance. We're gonna dance, dance, have a good time. Dance, dance, all night long. We're gonna dance, dance, and have a good time. I think Santa's gonna come and join us in this song. Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter if the snow is falling or the wind blows and the rain is pouring. It will always be Christmas in my heart. But this year I wanna hang out with my friends and family, making angels in the sand. You ready? Doesn't matter, it is Christmas in my heart.
Thank you so much for watching. If you want more Crafty Beach, YouTube thinks you might enjoy this video right here.